there's many of us, but I'm the one and only for right now.
So, me and Trey, we just did an event where we were on the men's mental health panel, and shortly after that, Trey hit me and said he wanted to do an isolated conversation with me, and here we are. So we're gonna do two parts. This is gonna be our part one. So, what you want to talk to me about, Trey?
The deepest truths of life and existence itself.
Okay, that's a lot to unpack. You tell me where you want to start.
No, I obviously saw you there.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll work our way to that part.
Okay.
All right. So I saw you at the brunch, and it was just me and you on the panel. So
yeah,
it's just interesting experience. I don't think I haven't been on a lot of panels, so I did see that you had a lot to share, some valuable things to share.
Thank you.
And I have to also commend your not just your knowledge, but also your ability to communicate, because you do such in a way. I don't know if it's intentional or not, where you like, I have a lot more to offer you all, but here's a little piece, right? And everyone's like, oh, what else did you have?
They kind of gravitate to what
the
the rest
it's
of
like,
it is.
oh,
Yeah.
what else is right? So you paint a picture. So I was a victim of such tactics, and no, I was generally just intrigued by you and you talked a little bit about your story. So I mean, I know this is people probably know your story to a large degree, so I don't want you to have to rehash it, but if you had to maybe like give me a little introduction, right? I think that's a good foundation before I just go, what do you think about men versus women and how?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know,
the more I get what you're saying. On personal or business, which introduction?
I think I just life.
Life.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was born in Flint, and
I'm from Michigan too. I was born in South Flint.
Oh, you were? Okay, all right. Well, shout out to my Michigan brother here.
Yeah.
And
that's the mitten, right here.
Up Lower Peninsula, right?
You're lower,
okay, Lower Peninsula.
All day.
Yeah.
You only know if you're from Michigan.
Yeah. It's a Michigan thing, people. And I was raised in Ben Harbor, and I was.
West side.
We really lived on well, you know, Ben Harbor ain't really that big, so we done lived on probably every side of Ben Harbor. And for those who have never been to Ben Harbor, it's a very dangerous place. It has a hell of a reputation for just the standard of living that's there. But it was normal to us because that's where our family was. So that was just a regular place that we just resided at.
My roommate's from Benton Harbor, actually. He was. He is.
He is.
He's from there.
From Ben Harbor.
Yeah.
So you understand deeply.
Except he was. I don't know if because he was white or because he just lived on a brighter side.
Yeah.
But he did communicate there's a certain side you don't want to.
That you don't want to be on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then on top of that, like, okay, this will give me a chance to dive into my more Michigan roots for my fans who never got to see me talk about it. I went to St. Joe elementary school.
Oh yeah, St. Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, you know what? St. Joe's a different city, right?
Yeah, it's like right next door.
All right. So my roommate's from St. Joe. And the other one was from Ben Harbor.
Ben Harbor, yeah.
And I think I connected. He's from St. Joe. That's why I felt like very more wholesome.
Yeah. So yeah, that one. That's so. If you ever hear me joke about saying I went to white school, that's what I mean. When I was in 5th grade, I went to St. Joe. That's like right across the bridge from Ben Harbor. And then when I got to middle school, when I hit 6th grade, I went to Berrien Springs. So it's on the other side of Ben Harbor. My parents were trying to keep me away from going to Ben Harbor middle schools and Ben Harbor high schools because it was bad. The only reference I got to that is if you've never seen the movie Lean on Me, that's very similar to how the middle school and the high school was where I grew up at. So I kind of had like an everybody hates Chris upbringing where I would live in the hood, but I went to school on the other side of town. And so I had a really good education. And we moved to Atlanta when I was 15. That was me going into my 10th grade.
That's the same year I moved to Atlanta.
15?
Yes.
That's like a golden year, really, too.
10th grade.
Just in a man's life in general, too. I think that's a golden time, 15.
That's the same exact year I came. What school you go to when you came down here?
Marietta High. Which one you went to?
Marietta High.
You did, too? What year was this?
I'm just playing.
I was about to say, you lying. What year was this?
I'm lying. I went to Grady.
You went to Grady?
Yeah.
So by the hospital, down by the hospital. Okay. So you was more in the inner city.
Inner city for real.
And I was more on the outskirts. So I was at Marietta, and I graduated from Marietta High, but I graduated from PLC, which was like an alternative, because I had went to Michigan my freshman year, so all my credits didn't transfer, but they didn't tell me that until I was going into my senior year.
Okay.
So then I almost had to do a second senior year, and I decided, okay, I had two options. I could stay at the main campus and I could do 2 senior years, or I can go to the alternative campus and I could finish either on time or early. And because I did everything I wanted to do as a senior in my junior year, I said, I'm about to finish early. I'm done with high school. So I finished in December, and then I came back and walked in May. Then I went to engineering school for college, for SAE. So I was there for a year and I graduated. And then I went, started life.
Okay. SAE.
Sound Audio Engineering,
Okay.
Institute of Technology. It's down by the Ferris wheel, downtown.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
The unnecessary Ferris wheel.
Yeah, yeah. I ain't never, you been on it?
Yeah, because people come in town.
It's more of a tourist attraction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
You ain't like it?
it's just like.
It sounded like a lot of hype. It was just a lot of hype.
It's just, I mean, it's just a Ferris wheel. I don't know what to say.
I know, I get what you're
It's just a
saying.
Ferris wheel.
Yeah,
It's like it's a nice aesthetic.
yeah.
I think maybe I just got to think it's Ferris wheels in general already, and it was like, I just feel like it was unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
It's more for show.
It's a randomly placed Ferris wheel, for sure.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah, it's
you know?
very random. Right
That's
next to the
probably,
Waffle
that's probably
House.
what it is. Yeah, because when I think about it, Ferris wheel, I'm not mad at Ferris wheel at actual.
Carnival.
Yeah, like.
You don't have nothing else around it. It's just a Ferris wheel.
Yeah, I think that's what has me like.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because I mean.
Probably the person you went with too. Did y'all? It sounded like y'all ain't create no memory.
We did,
Mm-hmm.
but they were from out of town, so it wasn't super memorable.
Okay, I see.
I remember we went up. It's like okay.
Alright, yeah.
I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe I'm just too much a romantic. Where I'm like, it had to be.
It had to be golden.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, something like that.
I
Like,
feel you.
Yeah. I think
No, I'm not mad at that.
if
It's
they
a
had-
randomly placed place Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But that's where I went to college, like 2 blocks up by the Hard Rock Cafe. I was right there. That's where SAE is.
Yeah.
So after that, I was doing music full time, and then I got into acting, and then that's when like my story goes from like walking to like running,
Mhm.
and then that's when got on television. Then I finally got financially stable.
You on television?
Yeah,
Doing what?
acting.
Well, yeah, like what are you on?
I like shows.
Are you on
Okay, so-
90210 or what?
Close. My first big acting role that I got was on Star with the Lee. It was called Lee Daniels TV pilot when I first got on it, but then it became Star. And then my second biggest acting role was the movie Little with Regina Hall, and then that was my first time being in theaters. My third biggest role was For My Man. That was my first time being on TV. And then when I did Homicide Hunter, that was my first time talking on TV. And then I just started getting role after role after role. And then that's when streaming came around, that I would be on Hulu, Netflix, Roku, everything but Tubi, thank God. And yeah, it just got rolling from there.
Because Tubi is like a.
Well, Tubi is like a person having a platinum album and then somebody telling you to put out a SoundCloud link.
I get it.
It's just one of
I
them
get it.
things.
People be proud about their Tubi movies.
They do. I think I missed that era. I'm glad I was able to be in the era before that.
Yeah.
But shout out to them and shout out to all of my. The thing about it too is that I'm such an achiever that I'm not really a big advocate for the independent film scene because there's too many people trying to take shortcuts.
Okay.
I'm one of those people where my stepdad told me a long time ago, he said, hey, since you do music, how about you come out with your own headphones? I said, no, I would rather partner with Nick on Incredible, or I'd rather partner with Beats by Dre and become a student of what they do,
Okay.
and then see if we can branch off the Vigilantes by Dre or something like that. Why would I want to compete with them on the ground level when I have to raise the capital, hire the employees, come up with the design, when me and them can just put our heads already in an already going machine and then just spurt from there together.
Mm-hmm.
So in film, a person just pick up a camera that they got from Walmart for $50 and get an SD card and then call themselves a director or a DP, I'm not one of them people that advocate for that. I believe in work, groundwork. A lot of people have organic talent, but they don't have everything that makes it come full circle, and that's what disappoints them when they see the results of what they got going on. So when I look at Tubi, I see like that in abundance.
Mm-hmm.
When I see YouTube movies, I look at that in abundance. And because I was in the wave before that where you couldn't just pick up a camera and call yourself a director, I was in the other wave where you had to like fight to get an acting role. And then once you got that role and you hit TV, then there's a red carpet that comes with that. Then there's other stuff that come with you, and you look back at all of the work and you go, I did it. That took a lot. Now it's time for the next thing.
What came to me was there's a beauty to being able to pick up a camera and tell your story at the same time. What'd you say?
Are you asking me?
I'm expressing my opinion.
Okay.
There's a power to it. If you got a story to tell, being able to tell a story, you know what I'm saying? Would you agree with that?
Oh, like the ability to be able to tell a story?
Yeah, to be like, you know what? I really want to tell this story. I don't know how to do all those stages and steps.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take what I have and put something together, like just through creativity and you know, in guerrilla style, ingenuity.
Yeah, I think there's two sides of it.
Right? Always two sides.
Yeah, I think the technical aspect of it and the creative ability to be able to share that story. So let's say a movie like All Things Fall Apart, since I am part Igbo from Nigeria. So there's a beautiful movie called Things Fall Apart.
Igbo tribe.
Igbo tribe. Mm-hmm. And there's a older movie called All Things Fall Apart where it talks about the Igbo tribe being what's the word, colonized, and it's a beautiful book that I read a long time ago before I even knew I was in the Igbo tribe, and the lead character's name is Akanko, and one of the wise men currently from that tribe wants to remake that movie. And with me being in movies, I now have the ingenuity and the collaborative people who would love to make that vision come true,
mm-hmm.
both from a holistic humanitarian standpoint
mm-hmm.
and also from a monetary standpoint. But what I don't want that man to do is to go to Walmart and pick up a camera and try to tell that story in a way that it's not going to hit the masses.
Yeah.
I would rather for him do it in a way to where we work as a collective so that he can get his vision in his mind can actually be brought to fruition in the highest quality. And so we can, because it's going to mean way more than just it being a movie.
Of course.
This is like something that's going to be monumental when we actually do it. So
yeah.
I just want everybody's creativity to be presented in that way. If you're going to present it to me the best way you possibly can.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I like that. I like the two-step side. There's a photographer I know who's almost 80, and he grew up in a whole different era.
Mm-hmm.
So all this, you get in the studio, someone's like boom, 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 boom. All right, like he'll set it up. He tries to take one quality photo,
mm-hmm.
and it's good, and he sends it to you. He grew up on film. He doesn't understand the give me all the angles. So he showed me his Instagram feed. He follows quality photography,
mm-hmm.
not all this like family reunion and y'all like just the phone is foggy on the back because it's smeared and there's no composition, and then that's your family. That's your new memory for the next 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all at the barbecue where there's like smoke, smeared. So I definitely get that, and there's certain stories like the one you talked about. Yeah, I mean you have to honor that vision and everything as a director. But no, I get both sides. I think it's a matter of discernment.
Yeah.
But what I want to go into is you said I got
one more thing.
Sure.
One last thing. But when I filmed with Netflix, we filmed a movie called 21 Questions. My mom started a credit repair business right after that, and she came to me one day and she said, Marcus, I want to shoot a commercial for my credit repair business. And we were living in Douglasville at the time, and the people I filmed with Netflix was in Carolina, but they was gonna be in Atlanta the following week. So because I have worked with so many directors and script writers and stuff like that, I said we can do I can put a script together for you, and me and my girlfriend, who was also an actor, we can be the main characters, and then we can have the people the directors from Netflix come, and you can give them blah blah blah, and then boom, they'll do it, and that way you won't have to go like just find somebody random or find some random actors. You got everything in house that you need for us to do it, and we did it. And to this day, the commercial is still a high quality commercial because of all of that coming together. So I think that as Black people and just as people in general, we always got to keep that in mind. That once we get to a position where we don't have to diminish quality for anything, that we don't anymore. Starting off, people have to see your vision. That's why they have demo tapes and trailers and hey, let me show you a little bit of this right here so you can see what the vision is. A pilot episode, and it's for pitches. It was never intended for people to take their pitch and then turn it into a full thing, because usually when you do that, it doesn't hit the same way that it's supposed to hit. You're gonna take a hit on the money in the beginning. Everybody's gonna take a hit on the money, but once something hits the masses, the more high quality that it is the more money that you got coming from when somebody sees it. Because whoever watches it, they're not gonna see your struggle that you go through behind the scenes. All they're gonna see is what's presented to them in that moment, and then they have to decide whether it's gonna be something that they follow from that point on. So that was the last part of that one.
Okay.
As you were saying.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm just processing. You got some experience and stories? No.
Yeah.
Gotcha. You mentioned then you got financially free. My mom was like, okay, how did you do that? How did you get financially free? What?
I built a relationship with Navy Federal. And when I did that, my mom, when she had her credit repair business, she put me on the fintech, financial technology. So Credit Strong, Kickoff, Ava, Lockbox, Kobo. So I'll give you an example of what Kickoff is. When my mom first told me about Kickoff was $1 a month, and they would take that dollar, and you would pay that dollar to them, and it would count as an on-time credit payment on all 3 credit bureaus. So if you I got a $600 car note with my Mustang, that $1 counts the same as that $600 note. So after 12 months, $12, you now have 12 on-time payments for the year, and then they give you the $12 back after the year, and you keep that cycle going. So that was at first. Then it moved up to 5, and now it's up to 20. Now it's up to 35. And the reason it's up to 35 is because now they've added that on-time payment and also a $3,500 trade line. And for those who don't know, the trade line is that's money on your credit that they tell the credit bureaus that you have no access to. So if you have a $100, $200 credit card, and then you have a $3,500 trade line, you automatically, even if you max out their card, are going to stay under 30% at all times. So it's a cheat code that then puts your credit on steroids. So now you never have to worry about having bad credit.
And this is still available, huh?
Yeah, everything I'm saying right now is all available.
All right,
Yeah.
kick off it is. I'm gonna kick off tonight. I might kick off tonight.
No, for sure. I'm gonna send you all the stuff
Okay.
for everybody watching. It's gonna be in the bio, and then I'm gonna hook my boy Tre up exclusively since he gets to catch it in person.
Appreciate you, just like
So that was one of the many ways I was able to do it was to do that, and then to once I got on TV and brands started sending me clothes, they started sending me jewelry, they started sending me stuff to advertise. So then I stopped purchasing clothes. So now I don't have to pay for clothes anymore. My credit's good, and I got the car I want, and now people are paying me to use my car in movies and music videos. So now they're paying the note. So now I'm not paying for anything.
Man.
The last thing I gotta pay for now is just I'm about to close on my penthouse in April, but I'm only gonna be paying mortgage for like 2 years, and then I'm gonna snatch the equity and appreciation and do a HELOC. For those who don't know, that means a home equity line of credit, and then take the overage of that, put it into my second property. It's probably gonna be in the same exact building, have my tenants there, refinance the first house, and then have it to where the tenants are paying both mortgages, and then I won't have a mortgage, a car note, clothes, food. I won't have to pay for any of that.
You know, in this moment, my mind's like,
You flabbergasted?
no, I'm just like, we supposed to meet years ago. We should have met years ago.
Yeah.
'Cause you know that quote, tell me who your friends are, tell who you are.
Yeah.
I want to be close to a penthouse too, so I love to hear that.
It's right around the corner.
It's right.
You know, America is different. Do you know your lineage? You know where you came from?
I don't.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
I'm surprised. I would have thought that, especially somebody like yourself would have done the research.
So I've thought so. I would do it. I've had to work through Ancestry.com and
Mhm.
like my own personal beliefs about validity, purposes, reasons. I'm very much desiring. I have been more looking at vetting African ancestry a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
but that's been my thing. So it's been a deliberate. Like I'm consciously resistant.
Yeah.
I'm not just like
You're not floating.
I'm not like I'll be nice one day.
Yeah.
Like I'm like I need more to trust this
Yes.
system.
You know what? I think that what would be a great approach for you personally and for your audience is for you to do autosomal background research. So autosomal is when they have both the XY chromosome put together. So that's how I figured out that I was a part of the Igbo tribe from 23andMe. And then I've done Ancestry, I've done African Ancestry, Tell Me Gen, My Heritage, I've done all of them. So I kind of had the same hesitance that you did,
Yeah.
but I had that hesitance within trying it rather than from the outside of trying it, which from the outside I can understand too, because let's say me and you met earlier, right?
It's Adesamo.
Yeah, autosomal. So if me and you met earlier, then that would mean that you would have been following my whole journey all the way from 23andMe to African Ancestry, and then that would have gave you the opportunity to research it from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I'm giving the rest of the world the ability to do that while
Okay.
being the guinea pig for them.
Okay.
And the beautiful thing with African Ancestry that the other ones don't include is that with my family, my mom's side hails back from the Kru people of Liberia, the Fulani people, which this is a Fulani hat, of Guinea-Bissau, and the Mende Temne people. So if you've seen the movie Amistad, those were the Mende people of Amistad. And so now Sierra Leone is the first country in Africa to offer dual citizenship. So now through that testing and through that what they call a certificate that I have from doing my test, I now have the ability to book a trip through African Ancestry. And so that penthouse that I said that I'm here, I'm going to be funding that trip. I'm going to be using the money from the overage of that to fund the trip to go over there to buy more property over there and meet my village, get my African name, and raise my children overseas so that they can have access to America, but they don't have to be subject to being raised in America. I can metaphorically turn the boat around and go back to where we belong, to where we started as people. So my testing, I always had a bigger picture for, I didn't just want to know what I was, I wanted to know where I'm going back to. And now that I've been able to bridge the gap, I see the disconnect between African people and African American people. And the disconnect is that African people feel that African American people have forgot about them. That's what it is. So I'm wearing this hat on purpose so I can show the Fulani tribe I haven't forgot about y'all.
Yeah.
I love y'all. I miss y'all. I am y'all. I know my accent is supposed to be like this, but it's like this. Unfortunately, our people got taken. But I want to show you that no love lost. I'm on my way back.
Instead of wearing a Kamala Harris shirt.
Instead of wearing a Kamala Harris shirt or an American flag or anything that we don't actually stand for. I know where I'm going to flourish at. I've been doing good here, but I'm going to do excellent there. And I'm going to be a leader of the community there without there being so many politics involved, just from my humanitarian standpoint. I know where it's at.
Well, now I got my financial literacy homework. Now I got my ancestry. Okay.
Yeah.
You're a very influential
Thank you.
individual.
Thank you. That's gonna take your channel to new heights too. Once you do that, people people are gonna buy into who you are even more as a person because then it's gonna spark them to be like, damn, I wonder who I am.
You mean in me sharing it
And you sharing
in
it
like exclusive videos dedicated to it, or just kind of mentioning
in
it?
a both.
Okay.
Both. Just
Okay.
me sitting here with this hat by itself is sparking so many people to be like, what is that on his head?
Okay.
And with me saying Fulani, they're like, damn, oh, I heard of Fulani braids.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they type that in, now the Fulani people are going to pop up. So many people, because before you came, I did like five, you know, I do the brand deals. So I did like five brand deals with this. So now the CEOs of those brands are now inclined to know what the Fulani is. And I have them working on clothing and suitcases and luggage and stuff for when I go over there to advertise for them. Mm-hmm. So now they're helping me to have a smoother trip. I'm bringing them to I'm taking their business and bringing it into my life experience so that we can have it come full circle. Mm-hmm. People are going to buy into you because you're buying into me, mm-hmm. and then they're going to buy back into you full circle. Mm-hmm. So now they're going to do the same thing for you. Mm-hmm. You said you didn't know. Your audience wants to know when you find out because they're going to be happy for you, and then you're going to be the motivation for them.
Receive that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For sure.
Last thing I want to touch on is I mean, it's amazing.
We keep going as long as you want to go.
Yeah, I just like limited time today. But what would you say is the
On marketing team. People go to school for marketing. Like we forgot that people have marketing degrees. Mm-hmm. But when you get on Instagram or social media app now, you are your marketing team. Mm-hmm. So essentially, you get the opportunity to put forth whatever narrative you want to put forth. There's no more Coke made me do this and Adidas made me do that. No, you can have a deal with Adidas and still have your own social media page to where you can control whatever narrative that you want to control. So it went from having political and economical profile to now having a personal profile. I think that's one of the most beautiful things that you get to advertise authentically who you are. And the people get to get it directly. They can send you direct messages. They can write direct comments. You can talk directly to the consumer. I think that's one of the best things. I think another one of the best things is that people are open to the idea of whatever it is that you want to be, whether you're Christian, Muslim, African spiritual, Hindu, Buddhist, whatever it is. We live in a time where that everything is accepted. As long as you're not harming anybody else, then all of that is accepted. So
nobody sorry. Nobody getting burned at the stake.
Yeah, nobody's getting burned at the stake. And we're finally accepting of what other things may possibly be. Back when we grew up, did you grow up Christian?
Yeah.
Back when we grew up Christian, saying anything about Buddhist or Hinduism or anything like that it was known as witchcraft. Yeah. But now it's at a time where it's like, I can get on Google and I can actually see what this is in 5 minutes of a video. What is this whole thing about? And I didn't even realize until recently that Christianity sprung from Judaism, and then Seventh-day Adventist is a spin off of Christianity. So with me finding out all of the different places that my father's father, and my mother's is from, it allowed me to open up my third eye and become more African spiritual. So this ring on my finger, this is the Eye of Ra.
Yeah.
And this necklace also is the matching Eye of Ra. And it's a very unique version because it's like the third eye with the Eye of Ra in it as well. So it's like 2 in 1 on that side. Then it has the Ankh. That's what it's pronounced. It's pronounced the Ankh inside of it as well. And the Ankh, for those who don't know, is the symbol of life. and for some people, the symbol of reincarnation. So these symbols were Egyptian hieroglyphics that were here way before Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, all that stuff was even thought about. So I've been looking at it from that perspective, and to make that tie full circle, that's what I like about this time. Is that 10, 20 years ago, you would never know that your favorite actors, favorite artists, favorite stuff like that was into stuff like this. But I can share this, go film an episode with Power, however they know my character to be on Power, and then come back as Remarcus Steele and advertise to my people like this.
For individuals who are multifaceted, I'm really speaking to myself too. Caught between like the fear of, you spoke about it in a way where you could my hand burn? Okay. You spoke it. It's a fire here. That's what's going on.
It's a candle over here.
Yeah.
It smells really good.
It does.
I don't want him to get ashed at my expense.
Yeah, it's a hot conversation, but dang. So you spoke about it with such freedom, like you could do this, be known for that, and make your own personal brand. However, so much research and there's many always exceptions and case studies have just shown that owning a problem or being known for a set thing or having a niche, especially starting out, before you get established to that point where you got an audience, they already love you, you kind of have a freestyle, the freedom to express what you want to express, talk about spirituality, talk about finances, mix it with cooking. For someone who is struggling to be like, all right, this is what I'm committed to solely right now, what kind of advice would you give if you're like stuck between, you've experimented and explored, and now I'm like, to really gain a lot of momentum, I feel like I have to really, from what I've seen, niche down, and having so much trouble niching down because it's like dedicating to that, afraid of I may not stick with it. It may just keep changing because I'm just so, this has been 3 months, and just the boringness of it. I mean, there's of course there's a business aspect there. It's a kind of a big question, but then ultimately it's like, how do you know what to really focus on, and do you see that as necessary as a social media influencer, creative entrepreneur?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think that all in all, everything that you just said is what increases the marketing aspect. It's just a frequency that's an energy that you're already putting out. So if you continue to just do Trey, the world is gonna see Trey. That's really just how it goes. And you right. A white woman told me a few years ago about something called a passion project. I didn't know what the hell that was. And then when she explained to me what it was, I realized that I've turned my entire life into a passion project. Me going to Sierra Leone to get dual citizenship has nothing to do with my acting career, modeling career, being a social media influencer, none of that. That's where my heart is at. I want to connect with my people. And over the break, when we was doing Thanksgiving, I sent my mom the information so that I thought that she was going to celebrate finally knowing after almost 50 years what she is. And we sat on the couch and talked about it, and she said, I looked at the paper and I just was like, And I said, okay, 2 things, Mom. One, once you stop caring about yourself, mind, body, and soul, you have peaked in life. Whichever facet that you stop caring about yourself in, you have peaked in that area. And 2, when Everybody always says, we fight for our right to vote. We fought for our right to vote. We fought for our right to this. We fought for our right to that. Yeah, but we fought in a land that didn't belong to us. What's a bigger fight? The fight in the land that don't belong to us, or the fight for us to get back to the land that does?
Mm.
And when those people, the colonizers, stole us from our land and said, F your mom, F your dad, F your grandma, auntie, uncle, nephew, son, cousin, friend. You are my property. I'm gonna grape you. I'm gonna beat you. You're gonna work for me. You're gonna build this. You're gonna grow these crops. You're gonna get my guest lemonade, and you're gonna shut up. They did all of that for the very moment that you ever got a chance to be free and ever got a chance to know what you were, for you to sit on your couch at Thanksgiving and go, that's what they did it for. So it worked.
Wow. Wow.
It worked then, and it's working now. So the very opportunity that I got to see any little inkling of what I might be able to see, I took it. And I'm gonna take it. And I'm gonna keep taking it. Because it means so much. The Fulani tribe has been liking my post all day today.
Mm.
When I found out that I was Igbo and I went to go buy Igbo garment and hats and clothing, the Igbo tribe went crazy. They're inviting me to come. When you come to Nigeria, we have this waiting for you. The Mende tribe, the Tene tribe, the Fula, everybody, they're waiting. They just want to know that your heart is still in the Afrocentric spiritual place. And the only thing that was the gap between that and that is colonization. Just being colonized. But the one thing that they can never do is destroy your mind. And we have to take credit for the fact that we are only slaves now if we allow ourselves to be, rather than when they were forced to be. And we come from, like, the Mende tribe. This is me being a little bit more long-winded than the panel. But
yeah,
the Mende tribe, for those who haven't seen the movie Amistad, that movie is about the Mende tribe in Sierra Leone. And Sierra Leone has a town called Freetown. And I'm going to tell y'all why it's called Freetown. When the Mende tribe was taken, they overtook the ship by the time that they had gotten to New York, but they let 3 people live who knew how to steer them back. And when they were asleep, they steered them back to New York. Then they had to go to trial, but they couldn't defend themselves because they didn't speak any English, because they're from Africa. So my now favorite president, John Quincy Adams, decided to represent them after his presidency. And he asked one of the people, how do I count to 10 in Mende? And they told him. So he was walking down the street counting to 10, and a dude from the Mende tribe who was free, but also spoke English, was like, yo, you're speaking Mende. And he was like, yeah, I got this case that I'm trying to do. So he was able to get the Mende people who were captured to tell the mediator, and then he was able to translate it into English what happened. So they were able to beat the murder trial and get taken back and pardoned back to Sierra Leone. And that's why they have a town called Freetown in Sierra Leone. And now it's the #1 tourist attraction. So I never even knew what I wanted to name my son, because I didn't want to name him Vigilante, and I didn't want to name him Remarcus, because Remarcus is my dad's name, and I never really had a relationship with my dad, though it's a very rare name. And
yeah, never heard of it before.
Steele is actually it's like St. Paul, St. Pete, like it's like one of those type of names, the last name I have. And I'm more invested into and eager for my village to give my children the rest of their names and tell them what their names is going to be. But I know for a fact I want to name my son for either his first name or his middle name to be Amistad, because Amistad means friendship. And Amistad is the boat that the Mende tribe was taken on. It was called the Amistad. So for my daughter, I want her name to be Liberty. Liberty is what Liberia actually means. Liberia means liberty.
Oh.
And Ogechi It's her first middle name. Ogechi means God's timing, and Ibu. Renee, that means to be reborn. And we're coming up with the last name, but we think it's still for now. But we're going to come up with the last name when we come up with the last name for my son as well. Me going on this spiritual journey helped me to be able to have that come full circle. Because it's hard to come up with names in America because all John, Bill, Joe all have names like that. But when it's sentimental to where you're from, it's easy to come up with those type of names. I don't even remember what the question was, but it drove me in this direction. And Ibu, our Ibu people, are showing how resistant our people are. So they got back, and then the Ibu people, there's a place called Ibu Landing. Ibu Landing is about 4 hours from here, but it's still in Georgia. It's a place I'm gonna be visiting soon. And I think it's Dunmar Creek or something like that. And Igbo people illegally taken into slavery. They got all the way to Georgia, overtook the boat, and when they got there, they were captured and surrounded by colonizers, and they all held hands, and they started chanting, "The water brought us here, and the water will bring us back." And they walked into the water, and they drowned together. So when you see the picture of those people holding hands or the water is up to their neck, that's the Igbo tribe. And they're symbolizing the unity and how they believed in the water god and the sun god and the water spirit. So I'm going to go down there and I'm going to pray to them. When I go down there, I'm going to take some crystals and some incense and some candles and some other Igbo stuff that I have, and I'm going to talk to them. And I'm going to make it a thing, and I'm going to showcase it. So when the Igbo tribe sees that, because that's in America, that's not something that they can just walk to,
Right.
but it's something I can. So that's going to mean a lot to them when I do that.
Wow. I see how I did a 10-hour conversation. I do, because it's so
many different
so
angles.
much. It's just so rich, man. And I definitely gotta come back and get a full setup.
Yeah.
Get a mic so every inflection can be heard. This is very powerful stuff. I mean, I'm walking away with just inspired. So I thank you for that.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I'm glad you could be inspired, for sure. It's a lot more. I can't wait for y'all to join us for part 2. I got so much more to share. The beautiful thing is at that time I'll be so much further in my journey, and we're gonna have so much more to share.
Perfect.
So, in closing, this your boy Vigilante. This is again a Fulani hat. For those who don't know what that is, please do your homework on the Fulani tribe. They were indigenous to Guinea-Bissau, and they were a nomadic group. So they're now mostly known for being in North Nigeria with the Hassa. So you may know them as the Fulani Hassa or the Hassa Fulani, but they are an independent group that merged with the Hassa group. And I want to say I appreciate you guys for acknowledging that I'm a part of the tribe, and thank you African Ancestry for giving me that information and opening that chakra for me to know where my roots come from. And you take it away now, Trey.
And thank you in advance, African Ancestry, for awakening me the way he has been awakened from his lineage. Because whatever it is, this has been good. I'm like, maybe I might be Igbo. Who knows? I doubt it.
It's possible. It's very possible.
Cool, man. Well, I'm Tre Jackson. Appreciate the time.
Oh yeah.
It's been a pleasure, man.
Yeah,
Truly.
for sure. Until next time.
Until next time.
We out.
Boom.